Hey guys, as promised, I'm back on Saturday with another video. Today I'm going to be making a homemade Louisiana crunch cake. So first I'm going to put in the butter to cream, and then I'll show you guys the rest of my ingredients. And I'm also going to be using a paddle to mix together all my ingredients. So now that the butter is in the mixer, I'm going to show you guys the rest of my ingredients. So here I have 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 1/4 of a cup of sour cream, 4 eggs. This is a mixture of 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. I have 2 cups baking powder, and then here I have 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 cup of granulated sugar, 1 cup of buttermilk, 1/4 of a cup of, this is 2 cups of sugar, this is 1/4 of a cup of granulated sugar, and 1/4 of a cup of sweetened coconut flakes, and this is for the topping. So while this is mixing, I'm just going to go ahead and grease my pan. Oh, yeah, but before I do that, hold on, let me just clear. So before I do that, I'm gonna go and preheat the oven. So the way I do it is I have to press bake, and then you guys can see it's blinking 350, so I'm just gonna hit start because that's the temperature I want it to be. And you guys can see it says 150, and it will just keep going up as the temperature rises in the oven. And then once it's done, it'll beep to let me know that it's at 350 degrees. So now that my oven is preheated and my butter is mixing, I'm just going to go ahead and grease my pan so that my my Louisiana crunch cake does not stick. And the way I'm doing that is I'm just rubbing it along the sides. Just so that it does not stick to the sides and I could get it out. If you don't want to use butter as your product, I guess, to grease it, you could use a cooking spray, and you want to spray it over the sink so that it doesn't get on the floor and nobody slips. So my mom's just gonna help me grease it because I didn't really do a good job. But anyway, my butter is creamed now, and I'm just going to crack in the eggs one at a time. Oh, I got a shell in there. So I'm just gonna take it out.
And I forgot the sugar.
Oh, and I also forgot to add in the sugar. So, before I add in the rest of my eggs, I'm just going to add in the sugar. Sorry guys. Today, I don't know what happened today. Okay, so now that my sugar is in, I'm going to turn this back on, and I'm going to let that mix together. So I put it on 2 to mix together the butter, the sugar, so I got some sugar on my hands and some butter, so I'm just gonna go over to the sink and wash them. Okay, so now that my butter and sugar is mixed together, I'm just gonna crack in the rest of my eggs. And I'm just gonna wait for this to be mixed in, like fully mixed in, so that all my ingredients are evenly mixed. So now that that one's fully mixed in, I'm just going to add in the next one. And you guys want to be careful to make sure you don't get any shells in there like I did, so that your crunch doesn't come from the egg, it comes from the coconut on top. Okay, so that was my last egg, and it's fully mixed in now, and my mom helped me grease the pan, and that's what it looks like. Thank you for your help. Okay, so now that my eggs are mixed in, I'm going to add in my vanilla, and this is 2 teaspoons. So now that my vanilla is mixed in, I'm going to add in my sour cream. And sour cream, okay, so I'm gonna get a spoon really quickly to help me get the sour cream out. So the reason I'm using sour cream is because it makes the cake more dense. More moist. Like I said earlier, I don't think today is my day. It makes the cake more moist. And when my brother and I were younger, we would always bake with my aunt, and she would always tell us that the reason we were adding sour cream was to make the cake more moist. But if you don't have sour cream, or you don't want to use sour cream, you can use cream cheese or a light vegetable oil, because it, just like the sour cream, makes the cake more moist. So I'm just going to wipe down my hand because I got a little bit of sour cream on it. So now that that is mixing, I'm just going to take my baking soda, baking powder, and salt, and I'm going to mix it in to my flour. Okay, so now that that is mixed in, I'm just going to add in a little bit so I'm just going to put in a little bit of the flour. I'm just going to lower this, because if you guys saw in one of my videos, I put the mixer was too high, and I was putting in the flour, and it kind of exploded all over me.
Use the spoon here.
Okay. And then now I'm going to put in a little bit of my buttermilk. And the reason I am putting in a little bit at a time is so that it mixes evenly, and the batter isn't too overbeat, because if it's overbeat, it will be hard, and we don't want a hard batter.
Put the milk in.
Oh, okay. Okay. So now I'm just gonna put a little bit more flour. And a little bit more milk.
I think you can add more flour than what you're adding.
Okay. So you guys can hear that the oven is beeping. So I'm just going to put this in so that the butter melts. And then I'm going to add in.
With the milk, you just put the flour.
So now I'm gonna add in the rest of my flour. And the rest of my milk. So that is what the batter looks like. And it is
You can stop.
okay.
You should get a spatula, scrape down the sides, and mix whatever flour that's not already mixed in to the mix.
So I'm gonna scrape down the sides and mix in all the flour that was not mixed in already.
So, do you want to scrape down the paddle?
Yeah. My mom is also a baker, so she knows what to do, and she's helping me today. Can I take this out? Okay, so I'm gonna take this out so that it's easier for me to mix this together. Okay, so my mom's gonna help.
Why don't you hold this, Anna?
So my mom's gonna help me mix the batter together.
So you're kind of folding it in. You see over here? Look over here. You see a bunch of butter and sugar here?
Yeah.
That means it didn't mix properly. So that bite would have been very different taste from the rest of the cake, right?
Yeah.
That's why you have to scrape the sides and the bottom. Do you want to go get
The pan.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take you guys with me to get the pan. I'm just gonna grab a mitt so that it does not burn my fingers. So
And you need something to put the pan on.
Okay.
Put that pan on the stove.
Okay. So that's what the butter looks like. And I'm just gonna grab something to put it on. Okay, so that's what it is. Sorry. And I'm just going to take my sugar, and that's the batter right now. And I'm gonna take my sugar, and I'm going to put it in. I'm gonna sprinkle it around in a ring-like motion. So that none of it falls from like through the middle. And then I'm gonna take my coconut and I'm gonna do the same thing. Okay, well, most of it fell on that side, so I'm just going to use my hand to help get it all over. Then just scrape that out. Okay. And now I'm just going to kind of like go like that, right? So I'm just going to move it around so that it gets everywhere. should I just
Put it down.
okay?
Here, do you want to hold this?
Yeah. My mom's going to help me get it on the sides because I'm having a hard time. And she's just moving it around in a circular motion so that it gets all over. So that is what
So
it
do you
looks
see
like.
the sugar like coming up the sides?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the sugar coming up the sides and the coconut sitting at the bottom. Then I'm just going to take my cake batter and I'm going to kind of use a spatula to help pour it into a ring-like motion so that none of it falls down the middle. Looks good. Thank you.
You can let it go. So you can...
I'm just gonna scrape out the sides. You wanna? So that's what the batter looks like, and it's in the pan.
Why is it in a bundt pan?
Because when we get it from the store, it is in the it comes like the bundt shape. So I'm trying to kind of create the same one at the store, like that we buy from the store. So I put it in a bundt pan instead of a circular pan. Okay. So that.
You have to clean off the top, otherwise the cake batter that's in the center will burn, right?
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys heard that, but we have to clean off the top so that the cake batter in the middle does not burn. So that's what it looks like inside the bundt pan. And my mom's going to clean off the top. Looks good. I'm pretty sure it'll look better when it's baked. So we're going to clean off the top, and then we're gonna put it in the oven to bake for 50 minutes, and we'll see you guys when it's done. So hey guys, so it's been a couple of hours, and this is what my cake looks like. And I know on the sheet it says baking soda twice. It's supposed to be 1 teaspoon of baking soda and half a teaspoon of baking powder. So make sure you guys use half a teaspoon of baking powder instead of half a teaspoon more baking soda. So now I'm just going to flip over my cake, and I'm going to do that by taking this plate right here, and I'm going to hold both of them down, and hopefully my cake doesn't stick, and then I'm just going to flip it over, and I'm going to take it. So my cake did not stick, and I'm really happy, but this is what it looks like. It looks really good, and I'm excited to try it. But Now let's talk about today's Bible verse. And today's Bible verse is Nehemiah 8:10, and it says, Nehemiah said, "Go and enjoy choice of food and sweet drinks, and send some to those who have nothing prepared. This day is holy to our Lord. Do not grieve, for the joy of the Lord is your strength." I love this Bible verse because a lot of times people think about believing in God as being a difficult thing that requires us to give up a lot of things we like, which could not be further from the truth. This verse is proof that God wants us to enjoy all the things He has created and provided for us. It is also proof that He is calling us to share with those who do not have what we have. There are many people that are more fortunate than us, but there are so many people that are less fortunate than us. Not just in terms of money or possessions, but other things too, like peace or joy or even family. This verse reminds me that we are all family and that we should be thinking about others in that way. Blessing comes in many forms, and the ability to share and enjoy each other is one of the greatest blessings. I love spending time with my family and friends. I cannot say I love meeting new people because I am shy, but I think that we should be trying to meet others and spread joy, because when we are genuinely happy, we are at our best. And who doesn't want to be at their best at all times? I know it is impossible to be happy or joyous all the time, but I think if we have the joy of the Lord, we'll be happy even when facing a difficult time. Maybe we can even draw on a memory of sharing with those around us, which I know always brings me joy. This cake was not so hard to make, and I know I will bring joy to those who eat it, if I decide to share with them. Just kidding. My parents would never let me eat a whole cake. I'm looking forward to sharing this with my grandparents and Mima, who gave me the idea of using sour cream, and thinking about all the time and joy we had baking together. I hope you can all do the same. May God bless you until next time, and always, I'm Hannah J. See you Saturday.